Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Anyway, I thought I'd just do a little quick update on this case of Beth Martin that I started looking at yesterday. This poor mum, 28 years old from Portsmouth in the UK, went on holiday to Turkey with her family, with her husband, with her 2 children, and apparently took ill on the plane, from what I can gather. I mean, sort of details are coming out. She got ill on the plane. By the time she got to Turkey, she was really quite ill. There were a few problems getting an ambulance to come out, and this, that, and the other. The language barrier, her husband sort of tried his best. And finally, she was taken to hospital. But to cut a long story short, and I mean, really, I'll put a link in the description for the first video that I did about this, because I don't want to, go through the whole thing again, because that is in the first video. But she died, basically. The long and short of it is this poor mum, 28 years old, she died in a foreign hospital. And her family, couldn't get answers from the hospital. And even worse than that, apparently, allegedly, the family were forced to carry a body bag with her body in it across the hospital, which, just seems unbelievable, doesn't it? That a hospital would expect you to carry your own relative in a body bag across the hospital. Anyway, it's all quite sort of unclear. Well, it's clear from as far as the family's concerned what they've been through. But so far, we haven't really heard any, we don't know what the other side of the story is. Though I'm going to try and say there's been some news come out that the hospital has made a statement. I think this is going to turn into a massive thing, because at the end of the day, anybody who goes on holiday does not expect this sort of treatment. Obviously, when you go on holiday, even if you're a young person, things can go wrong, and they often do. I mean, they often don't, though. I think what we've got to remember as well is probably 98% of people go on holiday, have a great holiday, come back with their fond memories, and everything's fine. But that other 2% where things go wrong, it's even worse when it goes wrong in a foreign country, because you've got the language barrier, you're miles away from it. Her mum had to go out there. She's got 2 young children. Initially it was the husband on his own with the 2 children. And very quickly, this friend went out there as well. The friend, the 2 mums, the 2 grandmas. But, they all feel like they were treated badly while they were there. And interestingly enough, this friend of Beth, she's an influencer, and she's been on Facebook, etc., Instagram, talking about this case, though she has now hid her profiles for whatever reason. Maybe she just got too much attention. But we're going to look at the video that she made about it. And of course, the worst thing that happened was that when apparently the body was brought back to the UK, Beth's heart was missing. So this is really, I think, the most emotive thing about the whole thing, is that where is Beth's heart? Did the Turkish authorities or the Turkish health service remove her heart? And if they did, why? And where is it? So this is a horrible thing for a family to deal with. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about what her influencer friend had to say. She, as I say, actually went out there apparently to Turkey to help Beth's husband deal with it all, and with Beth's mum, and also with Beth's husband's mum, to help deal with the children, etc. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. So first of all, I just want to say hi, lurkers. I know some people don't like being called lurkers. I've been trying to think of a different name. I can't think of one. So at the moment, you're still lurkers, but I'm a lurker. Don't be offended about being a lurker. Lurker just means someone who doesn't want to come into the chat, as far as my channel's concerned. It's not intended as an insult. Thank you for watching. And thank you, all of you, for watching, subscribing, etc., etc. Thank you so much. And don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want updates on this case and any other that I deal with on my channel, the best way to do it is to press subscribe, notifications, all notifications. Okay, so hi lurkers, hi replay crew. Let's have a look at anyone who's brave enough to come in the chat. That would be Mello, David. How about, voyeurs. Yeah, possibly voyeurs, yeah. Maybe voyeurs. Yeah, actually that sounds quite good, doesn't it, voyeurs? Hello, my voyeurs. Maybe. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so let's see. Where are we with this case? I just want to show you this article that was in the Daily Mail. I want to look at Beth's friend, the influencer, what she had to say. And then we're going to have a little look at the GoFundMe, which is nearly £250,000 now. And I'll be interested to see if they increase that amount. I'm not happy with the GoFundMe. I think it's a massive amount. I'm sorry, I just do. And even if they need legal fees, I think £250,000 is probably not, realistic. But anyway, you'll let me know what you think. I'm just thinking about other GoFundMes that we've looked at that people have been incandescent about, like Jay Slater's mum having a GoFundMe for 70,000, but people don't seem to be annoyed with this one. Why is this one different? Anyway, that's my question. But I think there's no doubt that this family have been through a terrible ordeal. As far as I know, they did have holiday insurance, so some of it will have been covered by the holiday insurance. And maybe they need, £250,000 to take the Turkish government to court. I really don't know. But anyway, so apparently, according to the Daily Mail, the Ministry of Health in Turkey has spoken out after a British mother died in mysterious circumstances on a family holiday and allegedly had her heart removed. So she fell ill during her flight, something she initially blamed on food poisoning, and with hours of arriving in Istanbul began feeling delirious and was immediately rushed to hospital. I mean, it must have been so scary for Beth. To me, the whole thing is about Beth. It must have been terrifying for Beth to be in a foreign country. I'm surprised. I mean, if you feel ill, you don't want to get on a plane, do you? But, quite often you've paid for your holiday, you're going on holiday. I would not have gone. Personally, if I didn't feel well, I don't even like flying at the best of the time, so I certainly wouldn't have wanted to get on a plane if I didn't feel well. Maybe she didn't feel well until she got on the plane, but apparently she fell ill during her flight. So she was immediately rushed to hospital. It says here, though, we saw yesterday that actually her husband said it took him quite a while to get an ambulance organised. So, not sure about that. Did it take him a while, or was she immediately rushed to hospital? I don't know. And she died the next day. So Beth's family claimed they were kept in the dark about the seriousness of her condition, and they suggested that doctors seem unaware that Beth was allergic to penicillin. So her husband said that he had told the medical authorities there that she was allergic to penicillin, but they weren't sure in the end, was she administered penicillin? Because we still don't know cause of death for Beth. We don't know. As far as I know, anyway, nobody's come up with an actual cause of death for her. So, after days of battling with officials, Luke eventually arranged for Beth's body to be flown back to the UK and taken into the care of British coroners, who later said her heart had been removed. I mean, this is devastating, isn't it? Beth's family has now been left desperately searching for answers about how and why she died, with Luke saying he has suffered the deepest level of trauma. Now, I want to show a photo of Beth with her husband. I've got here somewhere. So this is Beth with Luke. They've not been married, I don't think, that long, even though they've got 2 children, but I could be wrong there. I'm not sure exactly when they got married. But this is Beth's husband, Luke, and he's the one that had to deal with everything while he was there. But he was helped with Beth's mum who went out, with his mum who went out, and this influencer friend who also went out that we're going to have a look at in a moment. So now, in an agonising update, according to the Daily Mail, the Turkish Ministry of Health has revealed that Beth died after a cardiac arrest due to multiple organ failure. Oh, so now we do have a cause of death, do we? Is that why they kept the heart? I mean, I just don't understand why they would send the body back without the heart. Anyway, so this is what they're saying now, according, as I say, to the Daily Mail. She died of a cardiac arrest due to multiple organ failure, but stopped short at explaining the exact cause of this. Officials also said that Beth did not undergo any surgical procedures during a preliminary autopsy at the hospital, but would not say whether this was also true after she was transferred to the Forensic Medicine Institute for a second autopsy. I mean, at the end of the day, this woman's heart is somewhere. Who took the heart out? Somebody took it. And where is it? Where is it? Or have they disposed of it? And just seeing this family photo here, it's absolutely tragic, isn't it? So her 2 children, this 28-year-old mother, has been robbed of watching her children grow up, living the rest of her life. And the children have also been robbed of, a mother. Terrible. So there she was with her husband, Luke. Here she is again with him. That's her with him there. And she was just 1 day into her trip with her husband, Luke, when she was rushed to hospital. And this is the hospital that she was taken to. And she died on April the 29th, a day after she was admitted to Marmara University Pendik Education and Research Hospital in Istanbul. So the health ministry said the patient was recorded in the hospital records as a foreign case. A forensic case. in line with the statement of Martin's wife, that's her, is it? I mean, they're saying she said that. They may have been poisoned by a meal that they ate in their country before the trip and the initial findings. And it added a preliminary autopsy without incision was performed at the hospital in accordance with the forensic case procedure and his wife's request in this regard. The exact cause of Beth's death could not be determined within the current findings in the preliminary autopsy, which was carried out with the participation of the public prosecutor and the forensic medicine doctor. Beth Martin did not undergo any surgical procedures, according to them, during her treatment at the hospital, and there was no question of any organs being removed. The update still leaves Beth's family with so many questions, and it is still unknown whether doctors missed a problem with her heart or failed to acknowledge her allergy to penicillin. And it has been alleged, I think, by her family, that doctors may have given her the drug before her death. Well, the thing is, she was allergic to penicillin. According to her husband, they told the authorities she was allergic. So if they actually did administer penicillin, that is definitely sort of misadventure on the hospital's part, isn't it? So the Marmar Appendic Hospital, which sits a short distance from the city's Sabina Gökçen International Airport, is facing a negligence investigation over Beth's rapid and as yet unexplained death, according to her family. But the Martins face a distressing 6-month wait for a coroner's inquest that could give them all of the answers they desperately need. And, this photo of when they got married, she just looks so happy, doesn't she, there? There she is with her husband again. Oh, and of course, Luke was actually even accused of poisoning his wife initially by the Turkish authorities. So that's important to remember as well. So Luke said, "It has been the worst and most traumatic week of my entire life. If anyone can take anything away from this, hold your loved ones a little longer. Don't sleep on an argument. Take photos, take videos, tell them you love them more." So, of course, then the GoFundMe, we went through that in detail yesterday. I'm just going to have a quick look at it now. So nearly £250,000 has been raised in the GoFundMe. Now, the GoFundMe, they've increased the target over and over again. Be interesting to see now. We're on 247,000. The target is 250,000. Sorry, I'll just show you that. Yeah, the target is 250,000 now. It's gone up and up and up. They've raised 247,000. Are they going to increase the target, or are they going to say, right, that's it, we've got enough? I mean, £250,000 is a lot of money, isn't it, at the end of the day? But that's up to them, and it's up to whoever wants to donate money to the GoFundMe. It's up to them. GoFundMes are a personal thing in my opinion, between the people who set it up and the people who donate. It's nothing to do with anyone who doesn't donate, but I just wanted to look at it. So going back to this article, because an important thing that I want to, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because we went through that in depth yesterday, but this is her friend who's an influencer, and this is what she had to say. Sorry, advert. Oh, sorry, I need to share it. One moment.
Stolen her heart. They literally, even after I gave explicit consent, as did Luke, that they do not touch any of her organs. We find out when we get her back to the UK that they have stolen her heart. They literally said to Luke, sorry, your wife's died, you owe us 2,500 euros. Can you pay it? Like now, can you pay now? And then you can see her. They paid her no respect at all. She had no dignity over there. They wouldn't let anyone see her for hours and hours and hours. They were hiding stuff. They were visibly hiding things. And we got to see Beth for 20 seconds. And then the guy went, come on, and handed us a corner of the body bag that was zipped open with Beth and me, Beth's mum, Luke, and
Yeah, so that was a strange thing. So apparently they made them carry the body bag across the hospital, apart from anything else.
the translator had to lift her body into a coffin and then walk the coffin down the hallway for about an hour while they waited for transport. So it's just Beth and us in this coffin.
So this, right, sorry, I've just got to go and do, I'm just going to put it on mute. I've just got to go and get somebody out of bed, won't be a sec.
In the middle of
No, I'm back. I haven't unmuted. Sorry. Now I'm back. Now, sorry, I'm going to play the rest of this video, but everyone's very. Does nobody? To me, I want to hear the full story. I want to hear the full story. I'd like to hear what the hospital's got to say. I'd like to hear what the British authorities have got to say. As well as everything else that has been said already. We need to hear the whole picture, I think.
Of a really busy, rundown corridor where people were laughing and joking and passing by, and they were just tapping her coffin, and like there wasn't an amazing woman inside that. Losing her for me was traumatic enough, but going over to Istanbul and seeing firsthand, having to carry her body and see her like that, and the lack of respect, and then having to go the next day to the forensic examiner's office and saying do not take any organs, and then making sure the translator told them do not take any organs. They wanted to bury her and cremate her within 24 hours. We had to fight to get her repatriated and pay ourselves.
He was my best friend.
Well, of course you have to pay for repatriation. Nobody else is going to pay it, are they? So that's fair enough. And it's probably, I don't know, I always feel like I have to do sort of what's the word, a devil's advocate in these things, because I always try and see every side of everything. Probably in Turkey, as it's a Muslim country, it's probably customary to bury someone within 24 hours. And even here in Spain, even though it's not a Muslim country, it's a Catholic country, it is customary to bury someone very, very quick. So I'm not sure, though, having said that, I'm not sure why the Turkish authorities would want to bury a foreign person so quickly, do you know? So, because it's, nothing to do with them, really, is it? It's nothing to do with them, how the person gets buried or whatever. It's nothing to do with the authorities. I'm surprised, but I don't know about Turkey, so I've got to say I've no experience with anything that goes on in Turkey. No experience with the hospitals there. I've no experience with anything there. So if this is the experience they had, as I've said before when we did a video, don't bother going to Turkey as far as I'm concerned. What's the point in going there and knowing that something that, at the end of the day, if something like this could happen to a 28-year-old girl who previously in good health, I imagine, a mother of 2 children going out there with a husband. So I certainly won't want to go out there at my age, and where anything could happen. You don't expect something to happen at the age of 28, but as you get older, you are thinking that things, just never know, do you? So, yeah, it's a very strange case, this, I think. And this lady who's involved in it, she's now removed all her social media profiles, I think. So anyway, you can't find her on Instagram. Her profile has been removed. Apparently, she had quite a big social media presence. But anyway, don't know. We'll see. There's a lot more. Hi, Maria. There's a lot more to come out about this, I think, personally. But let's just carry on. Let's watch that video again. I would have watched it again, but of course it goes on to another video, doesn't it? Let's see if I can find it again. Goes on to, we'll probably have to watch the bloody advert again. And then it goes on to another video before you have a chance to stop it. Let's see. Yes, I'm intrigued to see this friend of hers talk on social media. Let's see. And I'm just wondering why she's now removed her social media presence. Maybe she got too much attention. Oh, I'm not sharing, am I? Hang on, hang on.
Handed us a corner of the body bag.
Sorry.
Even after I gave explicit consent,
There you go.
as did Luke, that they do not touch any of her organs. We find out when we get her back to the UK that they have stolen her heart. They literally said to Luke, sorry, your wife's died, you owe us 2,500 euros. Can you pay it? Like now, can you pay now? And then you can see her. They paid her no respect at all. She had no dignity over there. They wouldn't let anyone see her for hours and hours and hours. They were hiding stuff. They were visibly hiding things. We got to see Beth for 20 seconds. And then the guy went, come on, and handed us a corner of the body bag that was zipped open with Beth. And me, Beth's mum, Luke, and a translator had to lift her body into a coffin and then walk the coffin down the hallway for about an hour while they waited for transport. So it's just Beth and us and this coffin middle of a really busy, rundown corridor where people were laughing and joking and passing by, and they were just tapping her coffin, and like there wasn't an amazing woman inside that. Losing her for me was traumatic enough, but going over to Istanbul and seeing firsthand, having to carry her body and see her like that, and the lack of respect, and then having to go the next day to the forensic examiner's office and saying, do not take any organs, and then making sure the translator told them, do not take any organs. They wanted to bury her and cremate her within 24 hours. We had to fight to get her repatriated and pay ourselves.
Okay, so there you go. Now, the next thing I'm going to share is her Facebook page. The last comment she made, but though I don't think she's making any more comments. Ellie Gray, best friend. So this is what she said yesterday, early this morning at 10 to 1. Let's see. Thank you from the depths of my heart. I've always spoken about the importance of a tribe, a village, a community. I believed in it so much. I built my entire company around that very principle. And yet, if it's in moments like this, moments of heartbreak, injustice, and unbearable loss, that the true meaning of that village becomes clear. In the face of tragedy, we've come together and shown that love still leads, humanity still rises, and connection still matters. Thank you for helping us share her story. Thank you for giving Beth a voice when hers was so brutally taken. This is just the very beginning of a long, hard battle, but it's one that needs to happen. It has to. And your support is making it possible. I am so happy that her family will forever know what an imprint she has made in this world and how much noise, has been made in her honour. The hundreds of messages I have received in the last 24 hours from people who have experienced the same kind of loss, the same horrors, it's heartbreaking. A never-ending rabbit hole of silence, injustice and pain. I feel numb to what is transpiring. My entire social media feed, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, is now filled with Beth's beautiful face. And I'm so proud of that. So proud that her light is shining through thousands of screens across the world. But I also need to take a breather. So just for the moment, I will be making my page private, other than this post, for the weekend, so that we can regather and recuperate mentally. Who does she mean by we? I presume it's her and the family. And recuperate mentally without being inundated with comments, as much as I massively appreciate them. Tomorrow, I'll be visiting Beth in the Chapel of Rest, and I'll be taking a couple of days offline to breathe, to grieve, to sit with this numbness, even if I still don't have the words for what this feels like. But please know again, thank you for standing with us, for showing the world that love doesn't die, even when someone we adore does. So that was a very heart-rending post she's put on, but she has now gone offline. She's taken her posts off. These were other posts she had on there. I don't know. This must be a gesture towards Beth. Little stone there with Beth written on it. True freedom exists only when it belongs to everyone. Until every soul is free. Freedom is just a promise unkept. That's nothing to do with Beth, actually. That's an old post. So the newer posts are basically these. So there you go. This is the story of Beth so far. I hope her family gets to find out, what actually happened. I mean, surely the British authorities, in their capacity, will be contacting with the Turkish authorities. You would hope so, that there's some sort of investigations going on. So, yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to come on and give you the update of it, let you know what was going on. I think there's much more to come out in this case, much, much more. I know you'll all let me know what you think in comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear updates, and don't forget to press all notifications, and that way you won't miss any updates on this case or any others. So later on tonight, Saturday, this is on the 24th of May, I hope to finally be addressing this, not that I particularly want to, but a lot of my followers want to, and I do want to. I want to have a good moan about Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever, he's got a million different names you could call him. This trial that's going on at the moment, talk about a crazy world. Oh my God, it's surreal. So we're going to talk about that later tonight. But until then, I'll see you really soon in the next video. And as always, until then, may your God go with you. Let me put my outer video on. So yeah, let's hope this family get their answers. Bye.